All right, welcome back to part four of our NFL predictions. This is going to be the NFC and AFC South. We'll start with the AFC South and let's get right into it. And Ken, who do you have in fourth place in the AFC South?
I have the Tennessee Titans with a 5-12 record. I don't think the Titans will be very good this year. They need to figure out their tackle position, so I think it's going to be tough for Will Levis to play this year. Their interior is pretty good, but J.C. Latham should help, but is making a transition from the right to the left side, and they still need another good tackle. They have some they some good receivers, but they aren't really as good as they once was, I guess. Uh,
Next work.
yeah. Um, but the offense should be okay at least. But the defense, I don't think will be that great. Um, they aren't that great at cornerback, except for the new L'Jarius Sneed, and their front seven isn't that great. I don't think they are going to be as good as the other teams in the AFC South, and I think they're going to get picked on a lot, especially with a young quarterback. So I only have them winning 5 games.
All right, for me, I have the same thing. I have Tennessee going 5-12, finishing fourth. The main thing for me, this organization, I don't understand it. Mike Vrabel, I thought was a really good head coach, and firing him really made no sense to me. Um, they bring in an offensive-minded head coach, and I understand that they want to, have someone to help develop Will Levis, and so for that, I kind of understand it. But I'm not a huge Will Levis believer. But until you get some offensive line and some more pieces around him, it's getting hard. He is tough. Watching him last year, he would stay in the pocket and hold on the ball and deliver it when he could. He does have some weapons and stuff like that, but also their defense is Jeffrey Simmons, and that's it. I think defensively they're going to struggle. So this division is getting better and trending up. For a while in the last few years, AFC South kind of been an ugly division and not really good. I think the teams above them are improving, and I think Tennessee is going to struggle this year. All right, Ken, who you have in the third spot?
I have the Indianapolis Colts with a 9-8 record. I think they have a lot of good players, but not that many great players. I think Anthony Richardson should be able to develop a little more, and they have a good offensive line, but I don't think they're going to be able to beat as many teams. I don't think they're going to outplay as many teams. They have some pieces on the defense, and I think Leatu Latu will be great and a great addition, but they just don't have enough. So I don't think they will be able to beat the top two teams.
All right, in my third place, I have the Jaguars finishing 6-11. I'm not a believer. I was last year. I thought the Jags, Doug Peterson, Trevor Lawrence, that combo, and they just fizzled. I like some of their pieces. I like Evan Ingram. I think the drafting of Brian Thomas Jr. really good. I think they have a decent pass rush, but I'm just not trusting in Doug Peterson as a head coach. You look through his record and you see, oh yeah, he won a Super Bowl. That was his only good year. In fact, that's the only year he's had 10 plus wins, which he's regarded as this amazing coach because he beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. But I just don't trust in him yet, and I don't trust in Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has this horrible stat: 21 lost fumbles in the last 3 years. 21. We talk about interceptions. Well, fumbles is a big quarterback statistic too. You can't lose the ball that much and expect to win. He's got to learn how to hold one ball. I just don't trust this combo, and that's why I've been fishing third. Jaguars at 6-11. Who do you got in second, Kian?
I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think if everything goes well, they will go 9-8, which is the record I have for them. If Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson can return to some of that 2022 form that we saw, I think they could win a lot of games. But they weren't great last year towards the end of the season, and if that's the Jaguars we see, they might go 6-11. But I think they do have a lot of pieces. Trevor Lawrence can be a pretty great quarterback, and their offensive line is improving, and Brian Thomas Jr. will be a great target. And they really try to improve the defensive line. That might help them win some more games. So I think they have the potential to become the second best team in this division.
All right, number 2, I have the Colts at 10-7, and this is me being a believer in Shane Steichen. I think he is a good head coach, and I think he's gonna do well with Richardson. Now, Richardson only played a few games last year before getting hurt and having shoulder surgery, so it's basically like his rookie year again. I mean, he didn't get to practice for a long time with that shoulder injury. He had to have surgery, couldn't throw the ball. He's fully healthy. There's going to be some growing pains, but great offensive line. You get Jonathan Taylor for a full season if he still is healthy. I think their defense is going to be improved. Kian brought up Laiatu Latu. I think he's a good rookie. You'd watch out, help with the pass rush. They also drafted some corners. So I think that this team has a chance to be good in a division where, like I see Jacksonville, Tennessee falling up, they can win 4 games there. I don't think they're going to challenge Houston per se for the division, but I do think that they're going to have a chance for a wild card spot having 10-7. Again, Jalen Hurts' best year, Shane Steichen was their OC. So this guy knows how to coach quarterbacks, and I think he's going to develop Richardson. It's going to be a long ways, but I think that nothing else, they'll be able to run the football. So I have the Colts at number 2, 10-7. Who you got number 1, Kian?
Number 1, I have the Houston Texans going 11-6. I think the Texans were pretty great last year, and I think they have improved. I think they're going to transition from an underdog team to more of a contender this year. I think they made a lot of good additions. Joe Mixon, I guess, will fill the void that Devin Singletary left, I guess. And C.J. Stroud is still great. Stephon Diggs might make an impact. And the offense should still be good. And the defense, with D'Amico Ryans coaching, should still be great. And I think the additions of Kamari Lassiter as a rookie and Danielle Hunter to go with Will Anderson Jr. will be difficult to score against. So I think the Houston Texans are going to win a lot of games. So I have them going 11-6.
All right, I agree. I have Houston at 12-5, looking like maybe the 2 seed in the AFC. In CJ, we trust in Houston. The only thing that baffled me was the signing of the trading for Stephon Diggs. I think it was smart to restructure his contract so it's only 1 year, so you can just get rid of him if it doesn't work out. Because really, that may be their deepest position. Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and John Mechie. I think the reason they brought Diggs in is because Tank Dell and Mechie may be injury risks, both coming off of injuries. They weren't sure they were going to change out, but they've got 4 really good receivers. And Dalton Schultz, they're really sound at giving C.J. Stroud all the weapons he needs. Like Kian said, they've bolstered the defense. So I don't know what's not to like. I think D'Amico Ryans is a good head coach. He should have won Coach of the Year last year. And I think Houston is going to run away with this division. All right. NFC South, Kian, number 4. Who do you got?
At number 4, I have the New Orleans Saints with a 6-11 record. I don't think they will be very good this year. They have an aging roster, a not so great quarterback, a not great offensive line, and they're decent at receiver, but their offense, I don't think, will be that great, and the defense is also just not not great either. But they're great at cornerback, I guess. But I think teams are going to be able to defeat them. I think they will be able to get a few wins, so I have them going 6-11.
Okay. My number 4 team in the NFC South is Carolina. Carolina and poor Bryce Young. Second head coach in second year. And they spent a lot of money at the guard position in the offseason, bringing in Hunt and Lewis. Maybe that's the best area for them, but it's not like they have amazing talent at any of the skill positions. They've signed like 7 running back for some reason, cut a couple of them. I just don't understand this team. I think their owner, David Tepper, is crazy. I think the trade that they made that got them Bryce Young was horrible, and the fruits of that are helping Chicago 10 times over. I just think they're going to be garbage. I think them and Patriots will be fighting for the worst team in the league. It's not close. Sorry, Panthers. 3-14. Can't-
I have the Panthers at third
Okay.
with a 7-10 record. In what I think would be the best case scenario for the Panthers, I think their offense hopefully should improve a lot this season. I think Deontay Johnson should be a good target for Bryce Young, and Xavier Leggett, the rookie, should also be a good target. And I think Dave Canales can help with this offense, and the offensive line is improving, I guess, and they're trying to make that better by spending a lot of money on Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis. And they're getting more playmakers on the offense. The defense is, I think, a little bit more worrisome. It was their strength last year, but they trade away Brian Burns, and it's not as much of a bright future for the defense. I still think they have a lot of good players. So I think they could win 7 games. If not this year, I think hopefully next year, and if hopefully Bryce Young can still develop and become a good quarterback.
Okay. In third place, I have the Saints at 5-12. They have made some of the most peculiar moves over the last 5 years of any franchise, and it's only on the back of some of their great veteran players like Demario Douglas and Davis, thank you, and Cam Jordan. Veterans like that they've stayed afloat. Their offense is bad. I don't trust Derek Carr at all. I don't trust their offensive line, and it's just ugly. It's ugly, and they're cap strapped. They need to get a lot of these older players off the books, some of these bad contracts off the books, and bring in a new head coach. Fire Dennis Allen. He could be the first head coach fired, and he maybe should be. Bring in a young offensive coach. Go with Spencer Rattler. You got him for cheap, really cheap deal, and just start building a new roster. It's time, New Orleans. The dream is dead.
Okay.
Number 2 for you, Q.
Number 2. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going 9-8. I still think the Buccaneers, who won the division the last 2 years, I think, are a good team. I think Baker Mayfield is at least a good enough quarterback, and I don't think they've really lost that much. I think they've made some additions, and I don't think they're going to improve that much, but I don't think they're going to get worse. I think defense is probably going to be at least okay. So I think they can win 9 games this year. So I have them beating out the Panthers and the Saints.
All right, I agree with you. In the second place, I have Tampa Bay, but I have them at 10-7. I think they're going to be battling for a playoff spot again. Baker has good weapons to throw to. I think this year, maybe they'll improve the run game a little bit, and I think the best way to do that is have Bucky Irving run the ball more than Rashad White. Uh, I also think that they're always going to have good run defense because they have Vita Vea, and they have a good front seven. Now they lost some players in the back four, but still have good safeties, and so they're just a sound team, and they're managing their books the right way. Talk about a franchise that had a lot of defensive players they had to pay, and they're trying to figure their financials. They're not cooking the books like the Saints and ending up in a bad position. They got Baker on a reasonable deal. They're keeping those veterans staying. They kept Mike Evans for a couple more years. They're keeping their guys intact. They're keeping their roster intact. They're keeping that locker room intact, and they're still giving themselves a chance. Do I think they're Super Bowl contenders? No. But do I think they're a good team in a weak division? Yes, and I think they'll make a playoff run. All right, Ken. Who do you have at number 1 in the South?
At number 1, I have the Atlanta Falcons going 10-7 and winning the division. I think the Falcons are a good team, and they've made a lot of improvements to this roster to become the favorite to win this division. I think they're trying to improve their receiving room, and they're trying to improve their offense, and Kirk Cousins should play well for them. Their offensive line is still good, and they're going to be able to run the ball really well, hopefully, with Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier, and I think their offense will be a strength for them. I think the defense, they're still trying to improve that, but Matthew Judon should make an impact. So I think they're going to be able to win 10 games. I think they might lose some games here and there. So I only have them going 10-7, but I still think they have the highest chance of winning this division and making the playoffs.
All right, I have Atlanta number 1 as well. No team has gone through more change in a year than the Atlanta Falcons. New head coach, Raheem Morris. Got rid of Desmond Ridder, who was proven not to be good enough to even make a backup position in the NFL as he was cut by the Cardinals earlier this week. And upgraded with 2 guys that are better than Desmond Ridder. They brought in Kirk Cousins on his 4-year deal, still coming up the Achilles injury, and they decided, by many people's measure, maybe to waste a draft pick and quite the insurance policy in case Kirk Cousins can't come back from Michael Penix Jr. They have all these fancy toys. They've had a lot of top 10 picks. They got Bijan, they got Kyle Pitts, they got Drake London, all these fancy toys, and they're going to try to put the ball in someone's hands, either Cousins or Penix, who can actually make these toys worth playing. And then on defense, which struggled last year, in the last couple of years under Arthur Smith, Raheem Morris is a good defensive, and he really gets the most of the players. If you look at the defense of the Rams last year, it was Aaron Donald and some guys. And the Rams didn't have a great defense, but he kept them in games. Now, they have a really great secondary now with A.J. Terrell and a great safety pairing with Simmons and Bates. So this team has also an easy schedule. So I expect big things out of Atlanta. I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. No. Do I think they are trending in the right direction? I think Raheem Morris was a great hire. He previously coached at Tampa Bay. He knows his division. And he's the second stint, and he's learned a lot. So I think they're going to do well. And so give me the Falcons at 11-6. All right, that is our NFC and AFC South predictions. We'll be back with one final preseason video. We'll probably try to record that on Monday, and that'll give us our Super Bowl picks, Coach of the Year, MVP, all that fun stuff. We'll get that done for you Monday, and then we'll do another video to our first week picks. Who do we think's going to win week 1? Arguably the toughest week to pick because we've had a whole off season stuff to think, but we'll give you those picks. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good day.